Well, good morning, friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Crystal, and this is Homemaking on the Homestead. And today we're going to have a little coffee with Crystal, and I have a few things to chat with you about, are you an early riser, and do you have a daily list of must-dos that you do every day in your regular routine? So, grab your cup of coffee, and let's have a chat. I'm actually still feeling a little groggy this morning, and but that's, that's what the coffee's for. So hopefully I'll kind of snap out of that here. But I wanted to just, do a video and chat with you guys this morning. If you're new to my channel, my Coffee with Crystal are just my chatty little videos. I typically call them my chatty kitchen table talk. Kind of like, you go over to your neighbor's house and sit down at the table in the morning, the kitchen table, and chat with her over a cup of coffee. That's kind of the idea behind these. One of the first things I always ask you guys in these videos is, what are you having for dinner? And I would love to know. Put it down in the comments, and we can just kind of inspire each other with our cooking plans. Now that it's summer, maybe a lot of you are doing more summer type meals. Tonight my meal is going to be super quick, super easy, won't heat up the house, and so I'm going to show you that right now. We are having spaghetti tonight, and as you can see, I have a can of my own canned hamburger to go with it. I was debating on whether doing hamburger or meatballs, but we just had some meatballs, barbecued meatballs the other day, so I decided I'll just do a hamburger and make it kind of basically traditional. Also, I'm using linguine noodles instead of spaghetti. I did that, it became a complete accident one time well, I wouldn't say an accident, but I was making a big, huge pot of spaghetti for my daughter and her family, and I got the sauce all done. I'm ready to cook the noodles, and I didn't have any spaghetti noodles. And I was like, oh, great, And when you live as far away from the store as I do, you just don't run to the store and grab noodles. So I ended up substituting linguine noodles, and not only did they love it, but of course we had some of it too that night, and we loved it. So since then, I tend to do the linguine noodles. I ran out of my own home canned spaghetti sauce, and so I picked up a couple jars of marinara sauce when I was at Safeway one day, just so I'd have them on my pantry shelf. That got me thinking about, well, what actually is the difference between marinara sauce and spaghetti sauce? So I looked it up, and the definitions are very wide. If you're really authentic and cooking authentic Italian food, there is a big difference. But typically, from what I gathered, marinara sauce is usually thinner and very mildly seasoned. It doesn't have a whole lot of the traditional spaghetti type seasonings that we think of. Maybe a little bit of basil, a little bit of oregano, something like that, maybe a little bit of garlic, salt, and then that's it. They don't add anything else to it. And it doesn't have any chunks of tomatoes. So spaghetti sauce is that's a broad term for a whole lot of different pasta sauces, but you have the spaghetti traditional that we think of usually has meat in it. There's bolognese sauce, there's Alfredo sauce, which isn't, of course, a tomato-based sauce, but it's just a broad name for what we consider, it's more like American Italian food. And so I'm going to take my marinara sauce and kind of doctor it up with some more onions and peppers and mushrooms, and because I like to have that kind of stuff in my sauce. Another little trick I wanted to share with you guys is I currently have this half loaf of French bread that I will serve with this, defrosting right now to go with our meal. And what I do is I buy my French bread at Costco, and they make some delicious French bread. But it's too much for just my husband and I. So when I get home, what I do is I cut each loaf in half, and then I just freeze half of a loaf. And that works perfect. Nothing goes bad, and I can just pull that right out of the freezer for our dinner tonight, just like I'm doing tonight. Anyway, so there's what we're doing. Let me know down in the comments what you're having for dinner tonight. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to share with you was a cookbook review. I picked up this adorable cookbook, I got it off of Thrift Books. It's called Keeping Good Company. The author is Roxy Kelly, and she's got several of these books out. I picked up the one that is called A Season-by-Season Collection of Recipes with Entertaining and Homemaking Ideas. I absolutely have been loving going through this book. It is not only got some really good recipes, of which I've already tried one, but it has the most amazing drawings. It was illustrated by Shelley Reeves Smith, and I'll just give you an idea. Aside from recipes, see these little drawings? I mean, isn't that so cute? But the homemaking tips, like this one. This one was in the spring section, and it was all about the refrigerator, giving your refrigerator a good spring cleaning, and how to organize your refrigerator. Just, you know, just super cute. Here's an example of some more of these really cute drawings. I just, the drawings alone are just so fun to, you know, to look at. This was a summer section, and it was how to make pink lemonade, and then on the other side here it has a whole section on how to have a lemonade stand and how to do that. Apparently her children did this, and so this was the what they followed, the plan that they followed for theirs. Just really kind of fun little tips along the way. So recently in the summer section, I found a recipe for blueberry oat muffins, and I tried them, and they are so good. You know, the book is probably somewhat dated. She does a lot of, you know, light sour cream and light mayo and light this, you know, and that type of thing, which I don't do that. I actually think that things like that have more fillers and more bad ingredients in them than just to use the regular. But nonetheless, that's basically the changes I made, was just to substitute for, especially for these blueberry muffins, I just substituted regular sour cream in place of the light sour cream. And this has a 2007 publication date, so I just looked. I still have a couple recipes I want to try. They have a sweet and light cornbread recipe that I already got the ingredients for, and they have a chicken soup recipe that I would like to try. All the recipes follow the seasons, so as it gets into fall, there's more soups and stews and apple type things. It gets into winter, there's more hot chocolate and cookies and other baked goods and more soups and more stews and things. So a very nice cookbook. I would probably say that my only complaint about the book is the font that they used. I'll show you. I found it a little bit difficult to read. It wasn't as simple to read. I mean, it looks whimsical and it looks great in the book, but it wasn't as simple to read as maybe I would have liked. But that was really my only complaint. It's totally doable, but but that's probably my only complaint. Like I said, I bought it at Thrift Books, so you know, I can put a link down below to the book through Amazon just so that you can see the book and know what you're looking for if it interests you. Also, like I always say, check out your library. Because libraries are a great source of books, especially if you don't know if you want it or not. And then, of course, Thrift Books to get the best deal. If it's not on Thrift Books, I always go to Amazon and look at their used books. Some of their used books are actually shipped free if you have a Prime account. And oftentimes I find that if I can get a used book and the shipping that I have to pay is still less than what I would pay for the book brand new. So today, as I woke up a little after 4 a.m. and was just thinking about the things that I wanted to get done today and what my plan for the day was, I wanted to film this video. I was like, hey, that is a really great question out there. How many of you are early risers? How many of you get up early in the morning? Obviously, if you have jobs and things like that, then that might dictate that you get up early. But if you are a homemaker and maybe empty nest life, kind of where I'm at right now, do you tend to get up early, or are you more of a night owl? I know that I have never been a night owl. I do not do well at night. I get to a certain point in my day and I am just done. So I don't do well with the night owl thing. So I've always been an early riser, and I have always loved that. It's like my quiet time, that peaceful time to just kind of you know, put my brain together, make my lists, and listen often to my, the Bible app I have has a little daily verse devotional, and I will sometimes listen to that. And then, of course, I have my daily Bible readings that I get in there sometimes. And I also use that time to work on editing videos and just doing the quiet things that I'm not going to usually be recording a video at 4 a.m. because that doesn't work. My brain isn't ready for that. But those are the kind of things I do when I get up. And like I said, I get up about 4, and I'm usually out by 9:30 at night. So maybe I'm just showing my age, right? Okay, and looking at my little notes here, my other question for you guys was, I talk a lot, of course, about routine and daily routines and things like that, weekly routines, cleaning routines, all those types of things I've chatted a lot about. But most of us have a list of daily must-dos. These are the things that are on your list, no matter what, that you always do every single day. So I'm curious about, what are your daily must-dos? One of my daily must-dos has always been to make my bed. I just don't feel like I can move on in my day if my bed's not made. So I always make my bed. I know that's not everybody's thing, but it definitely has been mine over the years, and it just makes me feel like my morning is off to a good start. You know, they always say making the bed means that, I suppose depending on how big your bed is and how big your bedroom is, but it can be like 75% of your room is clean once your bed has been made. And it just gives you that start to be able to, step into the rest of your day and get more of those things done. That is definitely, aside from basic things like my kitchen, I'm always working in my kitchen, always cleaning the kitchen. It's so small that I'm always making sure dishes are on top of and things have gotten done in there. Another daily must-do for me is setting up my coffee for the following day. So I do that usually in mid-morning, and when I make coffee in the morning, we usually just pour it into a thermos and drink from that throughout the day, and then I wash the coffee pot out and set it up for the next day. And I also usually check the bathrooms. Do I need to swish through the bathrooms? Maybe swish at the toilet, the sink, whatever might need to be done. Just something quick to, again, make everything look neat and ready for the day. And usually, as needed, I will sweep my floors and sometimes vacuum my floors. So those aren't necessarily daily because sometimes they don't need to be done, but they're always on my radar to look at. So those are my basic must-dos every day, which isn't a lot anymore. Usually, that's the other one, laundry is a daily must-do. I either am checking to see if we need to have some laundry washed, or I am washing, drying, folding, put away. I don't do a load a day anymore. Years ago, when the kids were all home, of course, it was like 2 or 3 loads a day had to be done. But nowadays, it's as needed. But I always check it every day. So that's kind of my basic must-dos at this point in my life, daily must-dos. So what are some of your daily must-dos that you do every single day, or it's on your radar every single day? All right, ladies, I think that wraps up this morning's Coffee with Crystal. I hope you've had a good time chatting with me. I appreciate you coming to visit me. And I hope you go out and have an awesome and blessed day today. All right, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.